Well, hello there, stamping friends. This is Traci Raether from Plum Crazy Stamping, and it's time for Paper Pumpkin Workshop tonight. And we're going to be looking at the February 2023 kit called Sunshine and Smiles. So I'm really looking forward to sharing this awesome kit with you. It's very spring-like. We're going to start with the 3 projects that are a part of the kit designed by Stampin' Up. And then I'm going to do 2 alternate projects with some coordinating Stampin' Up products and some pieces from this Paper Pumpkin kit as well. As you sign in, whether you're here live tonight or you are visiting on the replay, please sign in. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the comments. I will try to see them as they are scrolling tonight. But in case I miss them, I will certainly go back and respond to you after the broadcast. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera down here and we'll get started. Okay, so upside down for just a minute, and we'll be looking at the desktop. Let me make sure I have the computer catch up with us here. Okay, there we go. Hi, Betty. Nice to see you here. All right, so here is our Paper Pumpkin kit for the night. This is Stampin' Up's monthly subscription program, and you can order them either one at a time in a 3-month, 6-month, or 1-year subscription. They do come to you in your mailbox, directly to your mailbox. It's kind of fun. They let you know when they've been shipped. And when it shows up, they come in this wonderful box wrapped in tissue paper, just like a present. And then they have a picture on the front here. So this kit in particular has 3 different cards we're going to do tonight. And it includes 3 cards of the 3 different projects. And then you can go inside and it tells you how to organize what is in the kit to get ready to make the projects. So what die cuts, card fronts, stamps you'll need, etc. And then there is literally step-by-step instructions, which we'll be following tonight to put these 3 projects together. And then on the back, it has all the parts and pieces, so you can double check and make sure you have everything that you were intended to get. And there is a QR code here where you can watch a video of putting this together, but you're actually going to see that tonight. They have a couple other alternative ideas, and I'm going to share 2 alternatives with you tonight. They do list the colors that are used, so if you want to use some of your coordinating paper, you're able to do so. So we're going to be using our instructions as we move along tonight. So just so you can see what was in this kit, I've already taken most of these stamps off of the stamp set, but it's a full stamp set. And I do collect these over time, and I go back and use them repeatedly. So I now have a frog and sun and kite to add to my collection. So I'll just set that aside. You always get at least 1 Stampin' Spot. So this month's was Mango Melody. I am going to use my regular size pad, though, tonight for our work. And then you get additional embellishments. So I'll go ahead and take those out so that we'll be able to add them to our project. So we've got some teardrops here and some circles. And then they also send along glue dots, kind of like mini glue dots, and dimensionals to use on the project as well, but I already have mine open, so I'll go ahead and use those. Then the kit includes envelopes, and I'll tell you, these envelopes are always just so beautiful on the inside. Tonight we're actually going to take one apart to use for designer series paper. Then we've got, for the 3 different projects, we've got 3 different card bases that are unique and already colored with a design. So that's one. Here we've got another one. And so they're already also scored so that they're easy to fold to make your cards. And then there's an additional thing that you add to this card front. Like I said, we'll see how this all goes. And then there are all these die cuts. So many times there is an extra here or there of these different die cuts. And then I'm going to use them in our alternative products. And so sometimes you even have extra ones, and I just save them for other projects that I use. So let me go ahead, and I am just going to set this aside for now and get started on our first project. So for this first project, let me grab the card front here and the different pieces that we're going to need. So I have the card base here, and I'm just going to do what the instructions tell me. We're going to do some stamping on this. Let me just get my bone folder here. It should be right here. There we go. Just to fold this down so we can make our card front. Okay. Let's see, we need the kite to actually do some stamping on it. We are going to need our sentiment label. And we are going to actually do the sunshine right inside the card. Okay. And I'm going to need my Pierce mat because these are photopolymer stamps I'm using. Let's see here. Grab just some scrap paper to put on top of here. Okay. I'll move these all up a bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing. We also have a grass hill die cut. We have a rabbit die cut. And we have a number of flowers that we're going to be using too. So let's go ahead and open our Mango Melody stamp pad. Okay, and we'll get our different things that we need to stamp right up here on the Pierce mat. And then let's grab the sun and we'll start there. So we need to have it peeking out underneath. So I'll have to I'm going to ink this up and then line it up. Okay, so let's see here. I think I'm going to use these other grid marks to kind of let me know where this starts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So then when I do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, I want to know that it's going to be about right here. See if that isn't peeking out. There we go. All right. I have my Simply Chamois off to the side here. I'm just going to wash my stamps as I go. All right, so we've got that done. Now let's go ahead and do our sentiment, which is wishing you sunshine and smiles. So just to save some time, I have already got these mounted on my acrylic blocks. And when you buy a Paper Pumpkin subscription, you do get an acrylic block that will work with all the stamp sets. But I use I have a number of acrylic blocks, and I just kind of put all the stamps on at the same time, so it keeps me moving along. Okay, so we've got our wishing you sunshine and smiles. And now I'll tell you, this is actually a little light because sometimes words, when it's this skinny of a font on the pad, I'm going to actually do it on the desktop. And see if I can't get that a little darker to show you the difference. I find that images and not necessarily sentiments work better on the Pierce mat. So let's do it again and see if we can see a difference. Okay, so we'll do this right here. And I'll push it down. I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing. I'm doing it right below the pierce mat. Yeah, I think this is a lot better, so we'll go with that. The other thing you can do is take your markers and you can follow along with the sentiment to make sure it's more evened out, but that helped. So we'll go with that and save this other one. All right, and then let's go ahead and where did my kite go? Here it is. We're going to just put the kite image here on the die cut. So I've got the kite here where it has some polka dots and stripes on it just to make it look a little bit fancier. All right, and then I'm just gonna, the beauty of photopolymer stamps, being able to line them up and, you know, see through what you're doing so that you can line things up. There we go. That really looks nice. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Sue. All right, so we've got that. I'm just going to set that ink aside for now. And then let's go ahead and follow the instructions to put this together. Just move my pierce mat out of the way for now too. Okay, so the directions always tell you even which adhesive to use. So if you see black dots, that is using the little pieces of adhesive. Now I use glue, or you could use your tape runner, your Seal Plus, your Seal, whatever you want to. And then when you see the white circles on the instructions, let me just put it up a little closer so you can see it. The white circles denote using dimensionals, okay? So we'll kind of follow the instructions here. So first we have to put our grass hill inside here. I just want to double check that this is, yep, they're putting it all the way down to the edge. Now I'm just going to use my glue for this instead of trying to put individual little glue dots on here. That'll take a while. So this is speedier, and I'll have the opportunity to slide it a little bit if I need to line it up perfectly with the edge of the card, which I always appreciate that using this glue. So we'll slide it down in there and make sure we're right where we want to be. So we've got our grass hill on there. Okay, and then the flowers, they're suggesting that we use the, put them flat on here with these. Now these, let's see, whoops. Yeah, I think I'm going to just use glue on these two. It'll be fine. Let me just double check though. Oh, I see. They want us to put the little dots on the front, so that's going to be attached inside. So I will do that. I will glue the other ones. Let me find my Take Your Pick tool. So if you don't have a Take Your Pick tool, this is the bomb. So this will help me to go ahead and take the little adhesive dots and put them along. Remember, they were showing me the front of this. And so I'm just going to put these at the base of these flowers, right on the stem, because I'm going to be just securing this right inside the open area of the front of the card. So this makes this a lot easier than if I were trying to do this with, especially right now my nails are short. It's hard to do it. So I'm going to just then take off these pieces, you know, flip off the, I shouldn't say flip off, just take off the front of these little dots. Get them out of our way. Okay. They like to stick to everything, and then my finger sticks to the adhesive. Okay, and just the last one here. Okay, so I've got those off. Now I just want to put inside here, I'm just kind of lining it up just to cover that adhesive. And let's see, they've got a little bit. And then I'm just going to press that down. So they're on the inside front cover, very nice. Now we're going to add some onto the hill, and in this one they said just do, or the instructions, when I say they, I mean the instructions, tell me to do just a couple of dots there too. I guess since I have my take your pick tool out, it's just as easy to do that. So what am I doing here? Just enough to hold these flowers down. Okay, so I put 3 of them across there. We'll take the adhesive tops off again. Now the nice thing is these are all die cut and they're all colored, and all I have to do is assemble them into the card. All right, so now I want to put these literally along the hill itself and make sure they're all showing. So they are going to go right on the edge of the hill. There we go. Okay. So we have them kind of coming together there. All right, now we can, we're going to pop up the rabbit. And if you notice, they're just going to have, I'm just going to put some dimensionals on this side of the rabbit. And then the kite is going to have just a glue dot on each end, and my sentiment's going to be totally popped up. So let's go ahead and get the dimensionals. First for our sentiment. Okay. And then I want to put them on the side here. I'm going to use mini dimensionals on the side of the rabbit here just so I don't have a mistake and have it go over and have it stick to the inside of the card. So I'm going to put one down here. We'll put one on the very side of the rabbit and on his ear. And that should hold him down just the way he needs to be. And then we have to do the little glue dots for the end of the kite, the very tip, which is going to go on one side of that opening of the card, and then down here at the bottom of the kite string. And nothing in the middle, because this is going to go over the opening of the card, which makes it kind of unique. So I'm just taking the adhesive off of these. All right, and then let's go ahead and put that together. So let's first get our rabbit down here, right on the side, and we want his feet down here. Let's see how low. Okay. So we've got him right there. Then we're going to have him holding the kite. And I need to push that underneath there. And then I'm attaching that top dot up here, and I've put that bottom dot underneath the rabbit, and it's on the card front here so it doesn't try to adhere inside the card. And then we're going to just take off the adhesive coverings here on the sentiment and add that to the front here. All right. So there is our first card. Wishing you sunshine and smiles. And then you can write down here, or you could always write on the back too. So what do you think of card 1? That is as designed by Stampin' Up. So, hi Mary Ellen. Let me just, I want to take that bone folder and just press this a little bit more so that it stays closed, okay? So there, we've got that one done. Let's go ahead and take our second card here. So I'll open up our instructions. For card 2. Okay, so this one we're going to be stamping on. Let's go ahead and get our... Oh, I think this one's so pretty with the rainbow. And actually, let's see, they want you to fold it this way. So we have got this beautiful check on the front. Okay. And then we're going to stamp, let's see, the sunshine right on the front. And I think we're going to have to open it to stamp it. And we're going to be hanging a cloud over it. So let's just grab that sunshine again and our stamp pad. And we're going to have to open this up. Okay, and we'll go ahead and let's get our Pierce mat under here because it is photopolymer, right? And this is the image, not the, give you a little bit better, wider look at the desktop here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just do this right there. Okay, we've got our sunshine. And I'm not going to use the Pierce mat to do the sentiment, but we're going to go ahead and stamp that right away. And this one says, "You brighten my day." So we're going to get that one stamped. Okay, so we've got that done. All right, now we're going to go ahead with the dimensionals again. So we've got 3 for the sentiment. And we're going to do 2 on the little side of this duck. So cute, because once again, we're just going to be putting it on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and use the mini dimensionals on that again. Let's see, which side did it want it on? Yeah, this side. Okay. There we go with that. Then our cloud, we need to do one here because it's going to be off. So we need 2 of the little glue dots here for this side of the cloud. Okay, go ahead and make those come off of there. Okay, so let's put the cloud where they want that over the sun. Oop, I'm gonna have to take that one off. Move it up just a little bit. There we go. There. Now it's not coming out of the center there. All right. Then let's go ahead and put our little duck on here next. Hi, Diane and Anita. We'll get our little duck, let's see. We'll just put him down here. And we have our sentiment. Now you can use your take your pick tool to take these adhesives off as well, if that works easier for you. Okay, so now we're going to, oh my, we have to put together a number of the clouds. Let me just wait until I do that before I put the sentiment on. We'll just leave it here. Now the instructions are going to have us have the tops of these. It looks like they're going to, oh, I see. We're going to do those on the inside. So let's go ahead and, oh, they're going to have it go right up the side here. So let's put our 2 little dots. They want them right on the very bottom of each of these clouds so that they'll fit inside the diorama that they've created here by die cutting the front of the card. Okay. Oh, Rosemary, I'm glad you already used this set. Great. Good for you. And I bet you very cute for a grandchild card. Yeah, I really like this, these little guys. The coordinating stamp set that's in the catalog. I think it's Rainy Day Friends, maybe. So adorable. If you have kids, you could use this for a multitude of different reasons. Okay, so now, let's see. They want us to put this like this. And then I'm going to have to look at it behind here, though. But let me see. I'm probably going to have to start down here, way over here, where the end of my sentiment will be. So kind of let's see where that will be. Yeah, probably a little bit over. And you guys, you know, whatever you do is going to be just fine. Now we're going to put them right here. Oops. And then there we go. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and put our sentiment. I guess I'm going to somewhat center there. All right. And so there we go. You brighten my day. And I think I got this a little crooked. Okay. So there we go. There is card number 2. Project from the set. All right. This one needs a little bone folder again too, just to make it stay open. All right. Oh, and this one, they want us to use 3 of these dots to embellish. So we've got the round enamel dots. We'll go ahead and put that on here. Boy, that adds a little bit. All right. There you go. I'm going to just turn this a little bit. Okay, let's go to card 3 before we get to the 2 alternatives that I created for you. All right, here we go. So this one is all about friends in any kind of weather. These guys are so cute. All right, so this wants us, the instructions are saying that we need to use the adhesive all the way around. Let's go ahead and, oops, we need the rain to be inside the card, okay? So we'll use our bone folder on this one. All right, and then it is to attach this inside so that we are kind of seeing a frame around the rain. Let's see here. If I can get this centered right. Let's see if that seems to be the right way. Let's try it the other way once. I don't know if there's a right way and a wrong way, but I'm just going to see if this looks more like the picture. Actually, the other way was right. So there is a right and a wrong way. Okay, so we've got this. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to did they have us adhering onto the top of the card or on the inside? They're not going to. I'm going to put it on the top of the card. So I am going to put my little glue dots. I'm going to actually use glue and just kind of put little dots here. All right. And then I'm going to line this up, you know, upside down on the top of this. And center it on that top of the card base. There we go. And that way, leaving more room around the edges if you want to write something in here. Okay. So there we have that in there. Let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. So in this one, it is just stamping friends in any kind of weather. Okay. Okay, let me wash my stamp off over here. There we go. So we've got that part done. Now we need to attach the adhesive to all of our little die cuts. So let's see, we've got the turtle, we've got clouds, we have the umbrella. All right, so the suggestion here is using dimensionals for our turtle. So we'll turn him over and do his feet. I could be using small dimensionals on these. I think I will. Let's see here. Just a little bit easier. And then on his head, okay. Then we have to go all the way across our sentiment here. Boy, if this isn't appropriate for this time of year, I don't know about you, but we've had snow, rain, ice, sun, a little bit of everything. So hopefully my friends are sticking with me in all kinds of weather because it has sure been variable. Okay, we're going to put one dimensional on the umbrella and we're going to put one, I'm going to use just the little dimensional on our frog. Okay, and then we need to have our other dimensionals on the backs of the clouds. So they want it on the top of this one and to the side of this one. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to have to bring in another set of these. I keep these, you guys. There's so many good uses for this type of adhesive. And many times it's like, yay, thank goodness I have extras of these because they work so well. And unfortunately, the only way you can get these is in the kits or in Paper Pumpkin. We don't sell these separately. We have mini glue dots, but they're a little bit thicker than these are. Okay. And let's just use one more of these. Okay, now we've got everything with the adhesive, so we can just take all of this off. So we'll be able to just put everything together here. How easy is this, huh? I really do enjoy getting these projects where I can just follow the directions and, you know, make something quickly. Let's say, though, I do need a birthday card, I can just change up the sentiment and basically ready to go. I really enjoy this, and I love the idea of getting a present every month. So my husband buys this for me for Christmas, and every month I think of him, and I just love getting them. So it's something that kind of gives me a lot of happiness every month. And I don't know that I'd think of, you know, all the ideas they have, or necessarily buy a stamp set that I would keep, because right now I don't have small children, but I love having some of these so that I have them available when something does need something for a small child. So anyway, works well for me. All right, let's go ahead and put our turtle over here where he can get some protection under the umbrella. So we've got him there. Let's put the little umbrella a little bit behind him. Okay. And then we'll put down our sentiment. And our little frog right above that. I think he is the cutest. And there is a stamp, so you can stamp him and color him and use him over and over. I just think he's adorable. You'll see that when I do the alternate cards. Then we'll put our clouds up here where it's raining. Okay, let's do a little bit of these extra embellishments of rain. Isn't that cool? So I think they have 5 of them on here. We'll go ahead and that one's stuck on my finger. Okay, we'll go here. Oops, that one's crooked. There we go. We don't need to have them be in a storm with the raindrops going sideways. All right. And the last one. There we go. Boy, that adds. So there is project 3. What do you think? Sue, I'm glad you like them. Same, Anita, thank you. All right. Well, let me set these things aside, and now let me show you the 3 cards that I created as alternatives in using parts, pieces, and stamps from this set. I kind of continued with the theme of springtime. So let me show you these. I'm just going to get the all these dot coverings off of here before we continue, where they'll be all over the floor. Okay. So here are the 2 cards we're going to make next. And actually, they are fun folds. So, you know, if you don't have this stamp set, you can still use these cards, the design, the fun folds, to, you know, make more cards, okay? So let's go ahead with the first one. So this one actually opens and opens up like this. So let me go ahead and grab the parts and pieces. I'm just going to slide these out of our way for right now because I'm going to need to bring my trimmer up here. All right. And I'm going to create the designer series paper for this card from the envelope. So let's go ahead and then we'll get all the other pieces we need. But let me first show you how I cut up the envelope. So I try to take the thinnest piece that I can to cut this open. And actually on my trimmer you can see there's the track and then there is some dark plastic. I literally line the envelope up with the dark plastic, and that's how thin I cut that off. Okay, so you'll see that this is just a very skinny piece, so I'm not going to waste much. And then I have it to use for my designer series paper. Okay. All right, so then we'll open this up this way. And now you'll see that I do have, you know, on the sides of the envelope, you have this. So now we need to cut this part off. And sometimes I'll use this center part, but this time I need a long piece. So I'm going to cut it this way. Usually I will not, you know, cut into this, but because of the way I need the paper this time, I'm going to do this because I need, let's see here, what did I say? 4 by 8.5 is what, let me see, I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Oh no, I do cut this into 2 pieces, 3 pieces actually. I do 3 3/4 by 3 inches and 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So let's just cut this off right now because I want to get to 3 3/4. And when I look at how this is right now, it's at about 4 1/4. So we're going to be fine. So I'm going to cut off this first part here. And the thing is to keep it straight. Okay. So I'm just going to set that aside. And then I'm going to do the same over here. And actually this time I am going to line it up at the 3 3/4 on my trimmer. And cut that. Okay. So then I have the 3 3/4 that I need, and then it's going to be by 3 inches. So I'll take that off of this part here. Now I have to straighten this off, so let me do that first. There you can see where the arc starts. I'm just going to cut right there. Okay, and do the 3-inch part. Okay, so this is the part that's going to be on the base down here. So we've got that cut. And now I need to have a piece of 5 inches. So let's see what that looks like here. 5 inches right here. And it's going to go over these different things, but you know what? I'm going to have it just go over one bubble. So actually, let me cut this little piece off. Just do it like this. And I'm pretty sure, yes, I'll have enough there. So I'm just going to take that over that edge so that I don't show that bump right in my card. Now I'm going to cut this at 5 inches. Okay, and that will be for the back portion of the designer series paper. Okay. All right, then we're going to need to make our card back, I call it, and I don't think I'll have to do any more cutting here. So let me just show you the parts and pieces so you'll have the measurements. So once again, I took the envelope and I made 3 3/4 by 3 inches and 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Okay, so that's done. Then you'll need a piece of Cajun Craze, and this is literally 1/4 of a piece of cardstock. So that measures 5.5 by 4 1/4. So if you put 4 of these together, it'd be one full piece of cardstock. Okay, so Cajun Craze. Then I'm going to do Daffodil Delight for literally the card base in here. And this cardstock is going to be 4 inches across and 8.5 inches down. So this is one piece of cardstock going this way. 8.5 inches across, you know, it would be 11 inches down. And then I scored it at 5 1/4 because I want it to line up on the card like this. Okay, let me use my bone folder on this a little bit more. Okay, so once again, that was 4 inches across by 8 1/2 inches and then scored at 5 1/4. All right, so let's go ahead and start just putting this together so it stays clear what goes where. And I'm just putting the glue on the larger size of this above the 5 1/4 inch score and gluing it, centering it onto the Cajun Craze. Okay, and we've got our flap right here. Then we're going to go ahead and take our larger piece of the envelope or the designer series paper. So you could be making this out of any designer series paper. And I'm just going to glue that inside here. Okay. Then you put the flap there, and this is going to be the 3 inches by 3 3/4 on that front flap. Now this in itself could be a card that you flip open and do something inside and decorate right here. But what we're going to do is put a mini card inside of this card. So now we're going to take another card base. Now this is the mini card base, all right? And this is 2 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches. So this is another slice off that cardstock, but 2 1/2 inches down. And then when you have the 8 1/2 inches this way, you score it right in the middle at 4 1/4. Okay, so then you use your bone folder on that. And then this is going to be centered right inside of here. You're going to be able to fold this flap up and then fold this flap down and have another card. But before we put it in there, let's go ahead and stamp what we want to go on the inside of the little mini card, okay? And so here's what we need. I've taken some of the pieces that were left over from my paper pumpkin. I'm going to do the sentiment on there. I've got the little bird, and we're going to use some of the, other stamps. We have some flowers we're going to do here. The sun, take that. And we're also, on the inside of this card, we have a sentiment and we have the little frog. So we're going to get all of that stamped up on these before we glue them onto that mini card base. So let's start, why don't we just do the inside one since I have it open to that. So this is the You Brighten My Day. And I'm going to get actually Cajun Craze so it kind of matches that background and pops a little bit. So I'm going to do that right at the top here. And because it's a sentiment, I'm not going to use that Pierce mat. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this on here and just straight across. Okay, You Brighten My Day. And then I want to put the little frog in there, so I'm going to do him in green. I have my garden green here. Let's get this little frog. And we'll just put him right down here on the base. Okay, so then that's that part. The insert is done. Now let's just set that aside for a minute and we'll go ahead and let's do the front of that mini card, and we're going to put a sunshine on there. So now I need let me go ahead and shut this so I don't put my hand in the ink there. All right, so let's see. Oh, we need our Cajun Craze. Let's use that before I close it to do the other sentiment here, which is the wishing you sunshine and smiles. I really like this Cajun Craze. I think it really pops with the Daffodil Delight. I probably shouldn't be doing this sideways. That's how I end up getting something a little crooked. Okay, we've got that done. Let's do our sunshine, and we're going to do that in the Mango Melody. So let's get that over here. And this time I'm just going to do this one flat as well, since this is a very not fine lines. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can redo this in the middle, or I'll have to flip my cardstock over. That's because I didn't use the Pierce mat. All right. We'll be doing that on the other side and using the Pierce mat. That wasn't the one to not use it on. Good thing there's two sides to every piece of cardstock, right? Now I stuck my finger in the ink. All right, let's just do that again. Okay, so there we've got our sun. Now, in order to do the flowers behind our little duck, I'm actually going to use my Memento Black. And I'm just going to stamp the flowers twice along the bottom here. Okay. And then I'll do that again right next to here. Okay. And then this time I actually, instead of using blends, now I could get my blends out, that would be fine. But these are so tiny that I can use regular markers and I won't really see the lines that you would, you know, why I like to use the blends better. But I thought for something different, I'd just actually use our Stampin' Write markers, which you don't see me use very often. And so these you can buy by, I think it's Color Family. And you can buy the set with an in color set too. So this is my garden green. I'm just going to do the leaves quick. Well, these are also the markers you can use for markering when you want to make multicolored images on your red rubber cling stamps. It works very well. All right, let's see here. Let's do some, what's this one? Polished pink. I am doing the bullet end of the marker, not the brush, just because it helps me stay in the lines a little better. Okay. And I'll tell you, making this just really did make me feel spring-like. I was talking to one of our stampers today who had 70-degree weather and was out getting her flower beds ready. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I wish that could be me. But not here in Wisconsin, not yet. Now I'm doing Poppy Parade, kind of a bright red here for the tulip. Okay, and then I'm going to do Highland Heather for our daisy. I like this fun fold. It's so easy, but it really looks cute. All right, there we go for our daisy. So now I'm ready to put our card together. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'm just going to glue the insert. In first. And I don't know if I mentioned the size of this insert is 2 1/4 inches by 4 inches. 2 1/4 by 4. So that's the same size as when I make Happy Notes. Okay, and then let's put the front on here. Okay. And then I'm going to pop up my sentiment and pop up my little duck here. I'm going to use the big dimensionals. It'll be fine to do 3 of these on the sentiment. And I'm just going to put 2 in our little duck friend. I'm going to put the duck on here so I can kind of measure halfway between the sun and the duck. And I tried to, if I actually do this well, I can kind of hide the 2 flowers, but get to see the, 2 on each side with our little duck. And then I'm going to just put this across the center. If I take the adhesive off the dimensionals, it'll work a little better. Okay. All right, and then we're just going to glue this, the back of the mini card, we're going to center and put inside our larger card. So actually open this up and we'll center this as best we can. In the side here. Okay, and then when you fold it up, there we go. Now if you wanted to, the one thing I did not do, because I really didn't have the appropriate image, you can put something right here if you want to. I decided not to because I really didn't have anything that I wanted to put there. So there you go. That is one of our alternative cards. So let me go ahead and let's make the second alternative card. This is called a pocket card. So we're going to, you have this little tab here and you just slide this out and you've got the card to write on inside your pocket, and this is really easy to make. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so here's the pieces we need to make this one. Let me just make sure I can see my measurements. I can't always remember them, but I have them written down here so I can share them with you. So we're going to start the same way with the Cajun Craze card back, which is just 1/4 of a piece of cardstock, and that is 5.5 by 4 1/4. Okay. Then we're going to take, I took a piece of designer series paper that coordinates, I think, kind of with the stamp set, and actually it's from the Dandy Designs set that we just had available in Celebration. And I actually took the, this is a 4-inch by 10 1/4 inch piece of that designer series paper, which is 12 by 12. So 4 inches by 10 1/4. I scored it at 5 1/4 and then at 9 1/4. Okay, so at 5 1/4 and 9 1/4. And then I went ahead and put what I wanted to be the inside and the outside. I folded what I wanted to be inside, and then this little flap I folded back, okay? And then that 5 1/4 is actually what's going to center on this 5.5 inch side. So let's go ahead and just glue that down. Oh wait, first I have to do something before I do that. The only thing that holds the sides of this card together is a little piece of cardstock or designer series paper that I put across here before I adhere this down. So I just have a little piece of that envelope, and I'm actually going to put this down like this, and you can see there's little tabs here. Let me hold this up so you can see them. I'm going to actually fold these under here and tape them. But before I do that, I do want to adhere this flap down so that it is laying flat. So I'm just going to use my bone folder on that one more time. I am going to put a little glue back here. Okay, and then I'm just going to press that down. Okay, now I'm not going to glue any of this together because I want that card to be able to slide in and out, but I do need to hold it together, and I'm going to do it with this little piece of that envelope lining, or you could use a piece of Cajun Craze cardstock. You can use whatever you want, but I'm just going to take my Scotch tape. I'm going to keep this in the center by holding it there, right? And then I'm going to flip this over, and I'm just going to fold these little tabs in and tape them down. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Let me just get that out of the way of the light there so you can see it. So I have that tab. Now I'm going to do this tab and just tape it down. All right, and then you see that's in the center. And actually, from this paper, I just used a teeny tiny little punch here, my 1/4 inch punch, and I punched out this little flower from this paper. And that's what I'm going to use just as a teeny tiny embellishment for the front of this card. So I'm just going to put a little dot of glue on here and push that into the center of this. It just didn't look good plain. So I'm just going to put it right on there. Okay. If you want to glue this little piece of thing down so that it isn't, you know, likely to get ripped, you can take these little glue dots that you have, and I'm actually going to take this, and I need to get the top of that. I'm just kind of wrapping it around my top of my take your pick tool and then leaving it underneath there. Well, that one got a little rolled up. You can kind of see it. You don't want it to necessarily roll up, but I think it kind of does that around the edge of this. Then I'm going to put it over here, there. So now that is adhered as well. So you can see, you know, this is where it's at. Now you can see where I've taped the two little things on the back. And now I'm ready to actually attach this to the front of this card back. And we will have created the pocket for this card. Just going to center this. Now this is a nice way to use, if you have some two-sided designer series paper and you like both sides, this is a way to see both sides. And I really like that. You know, sometimes the designer series paper is so nice on both sides. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't want to cover either of them up, right? Okay, so then we're going to make the actual card itself. And so this is Cajun Craze again. And this is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And this is a little weird because we're making just a very thin border around the basic white cardstock is 3.5 inches by 4 3/4. So 3.5 inches by 4 3/4. So let me stamp on that before I attach it to this. And I also had a scrap of this paper, you know, that made the full 12 inches of this designer series paper. I'm actually going to cut this in half, and then I'm going to put it on the bottom of this. Why waste it, right? So let me just go ahead and cut this. I believe I cut it at 3 3/4 of an inch to make that bottom piece. And you could make it whatever you want. But then it was this piece that was just, this is the only waste I have, where I cut that out with the other trimmer. I'm sorry, with the other punch. So I'm going to go ahead and, no wait, I'm not going to glue this on until I'm sure I like how I do my sentiment. Remember, I always have two sides, right? So let's get the You Brighten My Day again, and I'm going to use Cajun Craze again. All right, and now this time I'm going to do it a little bit further down, so when I make that tab, I'm good to go here. All right. So You Brighten My Day. All right. Now that went fine, so I am going to attach my bottom of the card now. So I'm just going to get my glue on here. Hi, Maureen. Which fun fold did you like, the first one or what I'm doing right now? Oops. This is why I like glue. I can slide this into place. I am going to let this adhere. I do have some glue on the back of this, but I'm going to be trimming this with not my ribbon scissors, just with another scissors I have, because there's glue on here. Okay, we've cut that off. There we go. I'll be cleaning that with a little alcohol wipe. All right, now I want to, oh, and I have glue on here. Should have used my silicone mat, right? Now we'll go ahead and glue this, but let me see if I wanted to, actually this time I'm going to make this little pull. See how I did it on this one? It was very skinny and I had to slide it into right on here. This time I'm going to use underneath a little bit more, I think. I forgot to do it last time, so I'm actually just going to cut a little piece of this. Let's go right through that daisy there. And I'm going to if I don't like this, I'll redo it, but I thought this might be nice, not square, but a little more rounded. So let me see if I can cut this a little more rounded. Now that is not rounded very well. I really don't like that. I'm going to keep with square this time. What I do have is I have a tab punch, but I did not bring it out here, so I'm not going to go get it. I'm going to go ahead and just keep this as a square little pull, but I'm just going to glue it on before I put the card together. Okay, and I'll use my bone folder to make a better crease in that. And then I'm going to just put a little glue on here. So know that I think maybe the rounded tab would look better, and there is a tab punch that Stampin' Up! Has that would work great. And I thought about it, but I forgot to bring it out here, so let's just do this. So that's about the same height. I want this about in the middle. Okay, we'll just put it like that. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my card front on top of this card base I have, so it can slide in and out of the pocket. Yeah, use a round punch in half, you're right. So there's a lot of different ways we can do this. I think the thing is, remember to do it before you put this onto the base. All right, and then it will slide right in. And it can slide back out. And then now this one I do want to put a little focal image on. So I have the 1.5 inch punch. I'm just going to punch a circle out of a little Daffodil Delight scrap I have. Okay. And then I'm going to use one of the images that are left over here, and I'm just going to pop this up on the front. And I'm going to actually glue the umbrella to the circle, but I'm going to pop the circle up on the front of the card. Oh, and by the way, Shari, I wanted to say hello. And thank you for the tip. Okay, so we've got, whoops. Get it back where it was. Okay, so we've got our umbrella. Let's get our dimensionals here. Could have probably used small ones. All right, and then I'm just going to put this in the center here. There, so you brighten up my day. And that's the second alternate card. So let me just, we've got this one over here. Maybe we'll just keep it like this so you can see the inside and the outside, right? And then you've got the this one. And then we have the great cards from the kit itself. So I'm hoping you can see all of these. And I am open for any class or feedback, and I'll just remind you, if you like what you see, if you would please give me a thumbs up or a heart, and if you would share this with your friends, that would be awesome. It helps me to share with more people. And let's see, any other comments? Please go ahead and put it in there, and any questions. Thank you so much, Maureen. So let me go ahead and just give you the sneak peek of the kit for next month. It's called 10 Years of Growth. Believe it or not, Paper Pumpkin has been going on now for 10 years, and they're actually going to be providing an additional stamp set in the kit. So you're going to get not only the usual things for, this is going to be for 9 cards, like this kit was. There is going to be an all-occasion stamp set to celebrate happy moments and recognize the people in your life. It's going to have gold foil sentiments, a polished pink spot, and also a free stamp set. And I think it's about growth. And if I remember correctly, it's got like some plants and a pot and things like that that will be available. So you can keep the stamp sets forever. And you would need to order that before the 10th of this month. So you have a couple of days here if you're interested. So let me go ahead and just pop this up and say thank you so much for joining me for the February 2023 Paper Pumpkin Workshop. We'll be doing this again next month. And I'll be on Facebook Live Wednesday at 6 p.m. And we're going to have some fun with a special stamp set called Warm Welcome. So any questions, you can contact me at Traci, Traci, at plumcrazystamping.com. Take care and happy stamping, folks. Bye-bye now.